Hello everybody, and today we are doing What If Deku was a demon from Demon Slayer, of course. This What If will be centered around Izuku Todoroki being turned into a demon from the last remnants of Muzan cells, also from Demon Slayer. If you guys have not read the manga, well, that's too bad for you. I don't really care. So, in manga spoilers, guys, the literal end of the series, Muzan dies, and he infects a certain somebody with his cells and takes him over for a little while, but eventually the power of said person's will kills Muzan. But we're gonna say, instead of the modern generation from said series Demon Slayer, surviving without any remnants at all of demons, we're gonna say there was one singular cell that was still alive from a couple generations down the line. When Izuku Todoroki was born, Endeavor wasn't thinking much of it. He thought, he only has green hair? Probably quirkless or something useless. He doesn't even have a quirk, as he starts shouting, and he storms off. As Rei looks over to her child, and she says, "Don't worry, Izuku. We'll make sure you're nice and strong." As from that point, Izuku and his mother had a quite good relationship, besides of their father, of course, because he was quite neglectful of the other children that were not Todoroki, aka Shoto. So, when Izuku was around 3, he went into the forest because he wanted to play. And when he finally got to where the butterfly was, it was obviously, it just so happens to be a pink one. And Izuku touches it, and he sees something black and red just hop onto his arm, as Izuku thinks nothing of it as he walks back home. And Izuku also thinking, like, oh, I wonder what that thing was. And the next year, Izuku, he certainly learned what it was. One day when he was 4, Shoto had just gotten his quirk, and Endeavor was livid because, he wanted to train and all that, and he didn't like that Shoto didn't want to at all. So, when Izuku tried protecting his child, why did I say child? Hold up. Brother, Todoroki says, "What are you doing?" As Izuku is smacked, but since they're on the second floor and they can see outside in the yard, Izuku is smacked off of the balcony and hits face plants onto the ground, as Endeavor just looks off and says, "He'll be fine." As Izuku looks up to him, as Endeavor's like, "What are you looking at?" As he sees all of Izuku's veins pulsing out of him, and Izuku quickly climbs up the wall and punches him through, climbs up the balcony and punches him through a wall. And Endeavor, not expecting this, got just rattled by this. And when he gets up, Izuku was already in his face and kneed him straight in the jaw, nearly breaking his jaw, as Endeavor is like, "That's how you want to play, huh?" As he starts using his fire. And Endeavor knows if he accidentally misses, that house is gone. Like that. But Endeavor, no hesitation, starts throwing fireball after fireball. Obviously, Izuku dodges, and the house becomes on fire. as Todoroki and his two siblings, you guys probably know their names, I don't. And we're gonna say Toya was one of them. But the female and Rei were still inside the house. I'm sorry, guys, I forgot the name. Anyway, I know Natsuo and Toya had already gone out, we'll say. And when Izuku realizes this, as he finally kicks his father through another door and actually knocks him unconscious, he goes to find his mother. When he finds his mother and his sister huddled in a corner, Izuku immediately leaps onto them, and as you'd imagine, they tried defending. As Rei made like a pipe out of ice, Izuku starts gnawing on it as he starts tearing up also, as Izuku falls unconscious on them, as Rei quickly hugs Izuku and says, "I hope you're fine," as they get a box from the closet and just put Izuku in there. And Endeavor eventually wakes up heavily scarred and burned in the hospital. When he's questioned how he got all banged up, and it wasn't even a villain, Endeavor says, "My child attacked me. I didn't think he would be that strong, but his quirk was immensely powerful. I couldn't even beat it. He is on high alert. He is nowhere to be found." Secretly, the backpack that Rei had on her back, actually, well, the box, kind of like Nezuko's box, Izuku was huddled inside. Similar to Nezuko, he could change his sizes to whatever he wanted to for good dodging. He also used it against Endeavor. So, Izuku already have been healed from his burns and scars from Endeavor because of his demon side. He was almost awake. When Rei got to an undisclosed location, she finally opened the box, and out came Izuku, who had his mouth on something similar to Nezuko's mouthpiece or something. And Izuku just looks at his mother and hugs her. And Rei says, "I miss you." What happened, honey? How did your quirk manifest out of nowhere? As Izuku just shrugs. As for the rest of Izuku's childhood, he got private schooled. And when he wasn't at private school, he got homeschooled. He was never publicly known. The name of Izuku, Todoroki, was forgotten to time. Everyone forgot about it. There were still some conspiracy theorists out there, but Endeavor just ignored them. Endeavor never spoke to his son for a long time after that. When Izuku finally finished middle school, he was taken outside by Todoroki. And when Todoroki says, "So Izuku, can we spar?" As Izuku says, why did I say Izuku says this? No, Izuku nods, and Izuku goes into like his demon mode and quickly races over to Todoroki, who uses his ice to try and stop Izuku. But Izuku just quickly dodges it and tackles Todoroki to the ground and starts punching him in the face. And when Todoroki eventually says stop, as he couldn't get Izuku off of him, and says, "You're too fast. I can't even fathom how fast you are. You're too good at dodging, Izuku, and you're immensely strong. Your quirk is amazing." As Izuku smiles and nods his head, and yeah. So, everybody, Izuku walks over to the desk where he had his computer out, and goes to the UA website and orders a admission thingamajigger bobber. And in 10 months will be the UA entrance exam, as Izuku starts preparing for it, getting a grip of his tendencies when he gets mad. He'd usually think about his father, then would just go crazy in the training yard. So, by the time UA rolled around, he'd finally gone good with that. So, Izuku and Todoroki went off to UA High School for that day. As Endeavor said, "Good job, Shoto. Your studies have proved well. Since you have my very, very good, recommendation, you will definitely get in. Probably to 1A, like I was in. But you, child, if you do manage to get into the high school, I might consider training you. But if you don't, nothing changes for you." As he walks away. As Izuku races to the entrance exam, as Todoroki says, "Wait up, Izuku!" And that, everybody, is where we'll be leaving off for part 1. Yeah. I think the thumbnail is actually awesome, guys. And I hope you do too. I really like the idea of this what if. So if you guys also support it, I will definitely do a part 2. Comment down below, give us some likes, give us lots of views, and I'm desperate enough, share this with your friend. With something, I don't really care. Maybe even TikTok, I don't care. If y'all are cool like that, copy my stuff, I don't care. Okay, so this is Clone Stories signing off. Goodbye, my fellow Demi fans.